Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Haunted America. On today's episode, we have for you another installment of America's Encounters. Today's installment of America's Encounters will feature two stories, one from Lila and the other from Destiny Gabbard. Without further ado, let's get right into this episode of Haunted America. If you would like to have your story read out loud on the podcast, you can email us your haunted story at Hauntedamericapodcast@gmail.com. That's Hauntedamericapodcast@gmail.com. The first one we're going to read for you guys is sent in to us by Lila Rogers, and she titles it The Singing Ghost. She starts off saying this: I am 11 now, and about 1 or 2 years ago, my little brother, who is 5 now, was listening to instrumental Twinkle Twinkle Little Star downstairs. I was upstairs, my mom was showering downstairs, and nobody else was upstairs. It's kind of hard to follow along, but here we go. I heard someone singing along with the instrumental Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the room next to mine. I looked in the room and nobody was there, and the singing abruptly stopped. You might think I was imagining that, but other possibly paranormal things have happened in that house. First off, Lila, I would like to say I would like to hear what other paranormal things have been happening in that house. This isn't a very long story, which is why we combined two for today's episode of America's Encounters. To me, it seems like you might have caught a spirit in the act, trying to interact with your little brother, it seems like, at least to me. I don't know, maybe some of the other people in the comment section on Spotify or YouTube have something else to add into that, but I would like to hear more of what's been happening. Maybe it's the same spirit, maybe there's a bunch of spirits in that house, but I would definitely like to hear more. This next story was sent in to us by Destiny Gabbard, and she titled this email, What is this figure, and is it a dream? She starts off by saying this. Hi, I'm Destiny. I'm 21, and what is about to be shared has been happening on and off now for 5 years. Almost 7 years ago, my father passed away when I was 14 years old. After my dad passed away, I would cry out loud begging him to show me a sign that he was still here. Nothing ever happened. Fast forward 2 years, and I'm now 16 years old. It's the summertime. One night during the summer, I had what I think is a dream. At the time, it didn't feel like a dream. But having a dream is the only explanation I can think of. In this dream, I get up from my bed and walk out to my room. Walks right through my door, and the door never opens. Okay, so she herself in this dream is getting up and walking right through her door. Interesting. She follows up by saying, I go down the hallway until I get to the front door. At the front door to the left is the hallway to the bedrooms. To the right, you can see the living room and dining room. Standing in the dining room is this tall, skinny figure that looks like my father, except this figure has long, point, yellow fingernails, and its eyes are sunken in. This figure doesn't say anything, but just stands there staring at me. I remember feeling frightened. I was frozen in place for what seemed like forever, until this thing that looks like my father reaches his arm out all the way across my house to the front door from where it's standing, oh my gosh, and touches me with its long, point, yellow fingernails. As soon as the figure touches me, I wake up in my bed, freaked out. The next few days that followed that dream, I started getting sick. As the days went on, I got sicker and sicker. I couldn't stand up without feeling like passing out. I was running a fever and throwing up. I ended up going to the hospital and they couldn't find anything wrong with me. Then one day I got better, like nothing ever happened. Since the first time I had that dream, like clockwork, once a year during the summer, I see this figure in a dream and I get sick with no explanation as to what's wrong with me. Then I randomly get better. The reason dream is in quotes is because I'm starting to think maybe it's not a dream. I want to know your opinions or what you think is happening. I really don't want to believe this figure is my father, but what if it is? Huh. It doesn't seem to me like that would be your father. Not one bit. I find it very weird that this happens like once a year. I believe you said for like the last 5 years. This is on and off for the last 5 years. Okay, yeah. I definitely don't think this is your dad. It sounds like something demonic, if I'm being honest with you. The long black fingernails and being able to stretch out and touch you like that, and then you get sick for a few days afterwards with no medical explanation. This is kind of tough. I'm sorry for the long pauses here. I'm going back and reading over more of this story. I want to make sure I'm taking it all in here. We've talked about it a few times on this episode. I would get some sage. I would sage the area of the house that this quote-unquote dream takes place in. It kind of seems like, because of the way this dream happens, right, where it is you watching yourself like walk out down the hallway and have that thing reach out towards you, that like the spirit itself is making you kind of but not really, like an out-of-body experience type thing. If it's making you sick, it's definitely not good. So once again, I do not think it's your father. I would get sage the house around the time of the year that it happens, and see if it doesn't happen that summer. This is kind of tough. Keep me updated. It's summertime right now as I'm reading this. It is the beginning of August, August 5th, actually. I would, you sent this in on June 20th. If you're listening to this right now when this gets uploaded, it should be uploaded by the end of August here. Email me again and let me know if it happened again this summer. I would like to hear a little bit more about this. I know you gave a lot, but maybe actually communicate with you and try to offer some more insight outside of this podcast. That's a lot there. I'm hoping it didn't happen this summer, or it doesn't happen at all the rest of the summer, because it definitely sounds like something that's not very friendly if it's making you sick. That is all we have for this episode of America's Encounters on Haunted America. If you have any stories you would like to share with us and have read on the podcast, you can email us at hauntedamericapodcast@gmail.com. That's hauntedamericapodcast@gmail.com. Also, we are now on YouTube. So if you guys would rather listen to the episodes on YouTube, you can head over there and listen to them on YouTube. I appreciate everybody listening, and we'll catch you guys on the next one of Haunted America.